Hello everybody, how's it going? On behalf of Roman Technology, my name's Phil Begno. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the Poetic Slimline case available for the iPad mini. Now this case is available for less than $10 on Amazon, which, in my opinion, was low enough to make me pick up a second one. Now, I usually switch out between cases a lot on all my mobile devices, but I've been using this case steadily for the past 3 months, which it says a lot when you look at my kind of pattern when it comes to using devices and using cases for them. So without further ado, let's jump right in and see why this is a really solid choice. Alrighty, so when you order it from Amazon, it might come in packaging similar to this. I've seen a couple of different styles of packaging used when ordered from Amazon, but this is the one that I received. I did order the version for the iPad mini with Retina just because that's what I own. Now, on the side here, it tells you a couple of the features of it. I'm not quite sure if that's super focused in or not, but it says roll and stand, which is a feature kind of pioneered by the smart covers and the smart cases. Anti-dust, and auto sleep wake, meaning that it has the magnetic strip on the inside that'll automatically sleep or wake your iPad. On the back here, it just has a couple more of the different little features of the case, but I am going to get into that in a bit more detail. So let's just go ahead and crack this open. There's really nothing special otherwise about the packaging. It's just the case itself and a little foam insert that you can do whatever you want with. Well, that didn't work, really. Anyway, so here is the actual case itself. So let's dive right into this. So let's take a closer look at the case itself. Now, as you see on the front here, you get this kind of leather-like material, and it has a nice kind of grain to it as well, and that comes in whatever color you get the case in. And it's available in many different colors. I'll have a link, like I said, to the Amazon below, the Amazon page below, where you can actually get your hands on this case. But it kind of has the splash of color in the front as well as a little bit on the back as well, which is always really nice. You have a Poetic logo right here in the top corner and a kind of reflective writing. And the iPad itself is held in from this kind of plastic exoskeleton, which is really nice. Shock resistance is definitely there. Of course, you do have to worry about the thing opening if it falls, but I mean, that's just the nature of this type of case, especially when it doesn't have the strongest magnets for the sleep-wake function. Speaking of that, that is something that this case has. Whenever you open the case, you'll see the screen of my iPad mini comes on, and whenever you close it, the screen actually goes back off, which is really nice. It helps you conserve battery and make sure that the case just isn't, or the iPad isn't on the entire time whenever it's in your bag or what have you. The inside of the case is lined in a microfiber material, which helps protect from dust and scratches, which is really nice, and also helps kind of, if you fold it into one of the many positions that the case is kind of advertised to be able to go into, it helps that from, you know, slipping and sliding around. It offers a bit of grip, which is definitely a nice feature. And also, all of the cutouts, all of the buttons and ports and everything on your device are so easily accessible in this case. You have cutouts for your volume rocker as well as your vibrate switch or whatever you use it for, orientation lock, what have you, camera, the microphones, headphone jack, as well as all of the bottom ports, your lightning or 30-pin, depending on which version of the iPad mini you have, as well as your 2 speakers. Or your speaker grills, rather. So you get a lot going on in this case. It does exactly what it's supposed to do, but let's dive in a little bit with some pros and cons of the case, because that is ultimately what make this case a good value. So to discuss the actual pros and cons of this case, let's actually put them both aside for a second and take out something that we're kind of familiar with, and that is the Apple Smart Cover. Now, when the Apple Smart Cover first came out, one of its main things and one of its kind of top selling points was that it was foldable into different kind of, you know, stand options. So you could have it to where the device would sit here and just kind of be in front of you, or you'd have it to where it would stand up along this. There were a lot of different features that this had that kind of set it apart and made it a very expensive investment when you got your device. I think it was around $35 or $40 whenever the iPad first came out, which is a little ridiculous, but, you know, not that video. Anyway, also you had the magnetic strip in this section, and a lot of case companies have taken those two things and tried to incorporate it into their cases in different ways. This Poetic Slimline is no different. The front section of the case looks exactly like that smart cover that we were just using. In fact, it's actually even pretty close in color as well. Whenever you fold it though, the one thing that I've noticed about it is possible to fold it into a stand. But similar to the iPad mini smart cover itself, I don't know how rigid of a stand it really is and how much I would trust my device sitting on this for extended periods of time. And the reason why is because when you look at something like a full-size iPad smart cover, you have 4 sections, and that extra section doubles the strength of one of the 3 sides, which adds a lot more rigidity. Whenever you have this small of a screen, however, in order to keep everything kind of compact, there's only 3 sections. So each is only kind of single, and it's not really, you know, double reinforced, if you will. It's not really that reinforced, which can be a bit worrying at times. Whenever it's like this, it's not that big of a deal. You know, I've watched and had it like this when I was typing at school or something. But I don't know if I would really trust having it in this position for extended periods of time without seeing it just kind of fall apart and fall over. But I mean, you know, that's just one of the things that come with the case as far as a con goes. But it does have one major pro, which I think completely outweighs that. And that is, of course, the price. Now, what you're basically getting when you buy this is an iPad mini smart case. And you're getting that exact same thing here for under $10. In fact, I'm looking right now, right up there, at the Amazon link, and the black version of this case, exactly how I have it, is $7.95 right now. So it's definitely a much better option, and I don't necessarily think that if you were to buy an Apple one, it would be any better. So why not just save your money and get a nice case like this? I don't see why someone would spend the extra. I feel like this is perfect enough and it gets the job done. So my final verdict on it is, out of 10, I'd have to give it probably an 8. You know, I am one of those people that when I have cases on a device, especially a device that I use as often as I use my iPad mini, I look for protection first. And this does give you a solid amount of protection, but if it were up to me, I'd probably just throw this thing in an OtterBox and just be on my way. But as far as kind of non-protective cases go, this is actually a very solid choice, and I would definitely recommend it to anyone in the market for a new case for their iPad mini. And I also do believe they make one for the full-size iPad as well. If they do, I'll go ahead and leave it in the description as well. So yeah, guys, that was my review and kind of overview and everything of the Poetic Slimline case for the iPad mini. If you like this video and want to see more, go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below. Also hit the thumbs up because it really helps me out and I get to know kind of what you guys like. So I have been Phil on behalf of Roman Technology, and I'll see you guys in the next video.